The government has recommended a CBI probe in Twisha Sharma's case. The government has given its consent for a CBI inquiry. That is the big breaking news that we are getting you at this point in time. This was a long-standing demand of Twisha Sharma's family. My colleague Brijesh Pandey is joining me right now. Brijesh, this was something Twisha Sharma's family has been demanding from day one. They did not have a faith in the ongoing investigation. The government has now given consent for a CBI inquiry. What does it mean? Well, we'll try and reconnect with my colleague Brijesh Pandey on that phone line. But this is a big breaking news and we're getting our viewers at this point in time. The government has consented for a CBI inquiry, a long-standing demand of the Twisha Sharma's family itself in this particular case. They did not have faith in the ongoing investigation being carried out by the Bhopal police. They felt that there was pressure and influence being exerted by Samar Singh's family, especially by Giribala Singh, given her position of power that she had been in as a district and sessions court retired judge. There has been more than what meets the eye, has been the claim of the family of Twisha Sharma. They has been demanding an independent, transparent inquiry by the CBI, and that the government has consented to right now. Our guest Sonali Shah continues to be with me right now. Ms. Shah, how do you look at the government consenting? Okay, Ms. Shah, I'll come to you right now, but I have Brijesh Pandey on the phone line with me. Brijesh, this is big. This has been a demand from the Twisha Sharma's family for a while now. The government has now given its consent for a CBI inquiry. What does it mean? We can look at justice being delivered now. Can it be a difficult phase for the Samar Singh's family, Giribala Singh right now?
Well, I think, I mean, if you look at the way the proofs which have been coming out, the WhatsApp chats and the way the family has behaved, and even the way the autopsy was conducted, I think there was a lot to hide. And the fact is that yes, the power play or the authority which Giribala had been exercised, her being a former judge and also holding a government position, was clearly in play. And this is the reason why the family was not sure about whether they would get justice from the local dispensation. And they had very valid reasons to think so. If you look at the fact that it took his brothers to raise his voice, get the defense ministry involved and other paraphernalias to get involved before they could even get an FIR registered about the death of her sister. And the fact of the matter is, the alacrity with which the mother-in-law was given bail, anticipatory bail, was absolutely shocking. And if you look at the fact that that the entire post-mortem was done, but the police did not seem it prudent to carry the belt through which this suicide had taken place, was shocking to say the least. And this gives you a very clear lay of the land about how the mother-in-law was able to exercise power and influence, and the police and the hospitals were not that serious about conducting the autopsy and all, because otherwise that should have been the first question to have asked. And going by the kind of media coverage it has generated, I think the government has taken a smart move, and this is the reason why this news, which is going to be very, very important for the family and also very, very important for the case, is that the state government has given its consent for a CBI probe into the suicide case of Twisha Sharma.
Absolutely. Brijesh, we were talking to our guest also this afternoon, Sonali Shah, about the people, the influential people that Giribala Singh had reached out to, whether it was the IPS officers, the IAS officers, the judges, doctors. It left no stone unturned to make a whole narrative about how she was trying to put a lid on it, to divert the attention, to try and maneuver the course of the investigation according to her convenience and what would suit her family. But the CBI inquiry now perhaps will bring about more transparency, because as far as the family is concerned, they were maintaining that it doesn't really add up. There is more than what meets the eye. And where Samar Singh is right now, that anticipatory bail itself is something that you think he can still secure?
Well, I think I would say that the case is not an extremely complex one. And the case is also about, abuse of power and privilege. Because if you look in, if Giribala had not been a former judge, a sessions court judge, the police would have simply rounded up the family, both mother and son,
yes,
and would have carried out a proper investigation. But the fact of the matter is, the lopsided way our system works, the fact is, ideally, the way investigation should be carried is that whosoever Giribala Singh spoke to during those 24 hours before she was given an anticipatory bail. All of those persons, whether they IAS, IPS or or senior judicial officers, all of those should be brought to question. And if they have indeed gone ahead and helped either Samarth Singh escape or exercise their influence in getting Giribala Singh her anticipatory bail, they all should be brought to question. They should all be brought to book, because the fact of the matter is it's a very clear case. And with the kind of proof the family has, the Giribala Singh and her son should have been brought to question, and the police could have easily taken the investigation forward. But unfortunately, none of that has happened. And I think a special case should also be cases should also be reserved or filed against the police officers who were involved in the whole post-mortem scam, because the belt which was used to which Twisha used to hang herself was not brought to for any kind of forensic investigation. It was later on, when hue and cry was raised, only then they accepted their the fact that they had forgotten to bring the belt, and it was just a lapse in investigation rather than anything intentional. It all screams intentional. So I think what will happen is that for CBI, it's not a very difficult case. All they need to do is to structure a timeline, find about the kind of pressure Twisha was being subjected to, talk to the family, in fact interrogate both Giribala Singh and her absconding son, find them, arrest him, and inquire with him as to what led to this particular scene of this sequence of events. And it's not a very complex case, if you ask me, but yeah, the full power privilege was at an absolute display as far as recording an FIR is concerned, and the way this investigation was being carried forward by the local police authorities.
Brijesh, since the CBI inquiry has been ordered in Twisha Sharma's case, can we also expect a second autopsy, is what the family has been demanding for, can also be carried out now? Because remember, the AIIMS Bhopal had written to the family members saying that the body of Twisha Sharma is getting decomposed. They do not have the facility for a freezer, and that is the reason why the last rite should be carried out at the earliest. But they have been sticking their neck out, demanding and asserting that a second autopsy is the need of the hour. Now that the CBI inquiry has been ordered, do you think that can be done?
It'll be interesting to see if that is done, because the court has also rejected demand of the family when they went to seek a second autopsy of her daughter's body. And the fact of the matter is that if the family is not satisfied and if they want a second autopsy, I don't think that that can be, or that should be denied, because already the case has been washed up by the local authorities. And families, apart from making sure that the perpetrators of crime are sent behind the bars, they would also require certain closure for themselves. So one thing is very clear, that that would bring closure to the family. And I think right now the government has acceded to CBI inquiry. I think it will be a couple of days or a day when the CBI will constitute a particular team before team which would start the investigation. So I think the investigation will start in the next 1 or 2 days, given how quickly the CBI forms the team. And it'll be it's as shocking as it is, it'll be interesting to see whether the body starts decomposing as is being sent by the police for the last 48 hours.